Hi and welcome to my pick a card channel, the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm here with a pick a card reading for you. And today's pick a card topic is coming from a suggestion in the comments section. And this is a no contact reading. And we're going to ask, how are they truly feeling about you at this time? This could be a long-standing no contact. This could be a very short no contact period. But how does the person on your mind truly feel about you? We're also going to take a peek and see if they're going to reach out to you in the very near future. But for today's options, we have pile number 1 here with the Hierophant, ruled by Taurus energy, pile number 2 with the Emperor, which is Aries energy, and we have pile number 3 with the Devil, which is Capricorn energy. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there could be messages waiting from Spirit. I'm going to jump into pile number 1. I also want to welcome my returning subscribers to please drop your comment below for your chance to win the free tarot reading from me. Be sure to hit your notification bell so that I can notify you if you're chosen the winner. And I do that, through the comments section. But I give you clear indications on how to reach out to me and get the ball rolling. And if you're new to the channel, I invite you as well to join our beautiful soul family by subscribing to the channel and drop your comment below for your chance to win as well. But I'm going to start with pile number 1. Again, no contact reading for you today. How do they truly feel? Are they going to reach out in the near future? Pile 1, pile 2, pile number 3. Hello, pile number 1. You were drawn to the Hierophant, and this is your reading. I hope that everyone that celebrated the holidays had a wonderful holiday, a safe holiday. Welcome back now that we're back in the swing of things. And for this no contact reading, we are looking at somebody on your mind. Again, it could be no contact for a very long time, or perhaps just for a short period of time. This person could have been somebody that you worked with, for instance. With the Hierophant, it does rule institutions like education, government, marriage. It can speak about the career realm. It can also speak about commitment cycles. So perhaps people have been moved into commitment cycles, or commitment cycles were a part of this connection overall. So we're going to take a look here. They're also referencing how perhaps we didn't speak the truth, or this person was complacent about speaking the truth, maybe even before the no contact began. So let's take a look here at how are they feeling right this moment in no contact. Are these feelings mutual? We have the King of Wands coming out first. The Three of Pentacles. We have the Six of Wands. We have the Justice. We have the Moon. A lot of Libra energy, a lot of Cancer energy coming through, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Here's the Ten of Swords, and there's the Death energy. And I can't deny that this could have been someone that you did work with, or you perhaps could have gone to school with them as well. But they're doing a really good job of pretending like they are not affected by this situation. I feel like if you did leave a work realm, they're almost, I don't want to use a word like offended, because they realize they don't have a right to be, but they're very sort of put off by the fact that you left. They're still trying to sort out their feelings about that, I feel, as well. They're kind of at odds because they're trying to maintain a balance. They're trying to maintain their persona. They don't want to let it out of the bag that they're affected this much, but I think they really feel the loss. And they're even mentioning that this paint isn't even dried yet, with this Five of Pentacles on the, or I always think of the Five of Pentacles with the pentagram, but it's not even dry yet. It's dripping down. So perhaps this is not a long-standing no contact. Perhaps it just happened, but they're still trying to sort out their feelings. And I feel like there's almost like still trying to sort out a position. So if you've moved from a work realm, for instance, and maybe you had a attraction in that work realm, there's still some practical things that they're dealing with your physical movement, or the loss of you. But Spirit says that despite immediate appearances, you have an unlikely ally when it comes to the feelings of loss as well. And I just heard the term phone home for some reason, like ET phone home. We have the Page of Cups. We have the Hermit. And there's nothing that they feel like they can do about you moving on or you moving forward. There's a lot of Virgo energy coming through here now as well. They're just sort of, they're in this state of I don't want to even call it mourning, but it kind of feels like it came after a period of mourning, of like, it just is what it is. What can I do? And it almost feels like they're anticipating that you're going to reach out for some reason. Even if this was a business relationship, it almost feels like they're anticipating that there could be further communication here. Because it's like they feel like they have to give themselves some time to feel better. So even if this person never did share exactly how they felt, it's taking them some time to feel better. And they don't feel like there's anything that they can really do to speed up that process. And they also feel like this is a very lonely experience that they're having. This is something that they can't share with other people. They have to experience this alone, keeping this in balance. But the way that this has made them feel is very telling. And it almost feels like they are surprised by it. They're surprised by, honestly, how devastated they feel. Of the necessity of having to clear you out. You can see that they're reaching for the broom for clearance, maybe watching you walk away to empower yourself, but they're defensive about it. It's almost as if you've moved away from a work realm and this person was interested in you, part of them is kind of still rattled and upset that you left in the first place. Even though you were offered more money, even though there's an upgrade waiting for you, they understand that from a practical point of view, and yet they're still having this emotional response to the disappointment. Three of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Wands and the Ten of Wands, and now they're just carrying forward this passionate feeling, this vulnerable passionate feeling, because they have nowhere to direct it. And it almost, because you've perhaps removed yourself from the scenario, it's making them perhaps want to act. It's kind of triggering movement and action for them, but they don't know what will happen if they do. And this could be affecting how they feel when they contemplate and think about reaching out to you, because that could be a part of their plan. If they don't feel like you reach out to them, you may end up hearing from this person, but we're going to ask that question specifically from Spirit. I also feel like perhaps they have, against their better judgment, perhaps looked at your social media to see if anything has shifted and changed there. But I feel like they're disappointed that things haven't really shifted or changed there. It's like maybe you're not very active on social media, or you haven't had time. But like underneath it all, they're kind of really disappointed. They're really heartbroken about the disconnect. They're really heartbroken about having to kind of work through their feelings here. And maybe they didn't even realize the feelings were as real and as raw as they are until you walked away. But this is not happiness. This is a feeling of abundance, but it's an abundance of overthinking. It's an abundance of worry. It's abundance of loss as well. How do they truly feel? No contact, please. Spirit is saying that they keep using the term unlikely ally. And this could be one of the reasons why the Spirit is talking now about perhaps somebody coming. Like, I feel like they're going to contact you, if I'm honest with you. I feel like communication from them is going to pop up out of the blue, and it almost feels like they're going to offer you like a good what's the word I'm looking for? It's like they're going to offer you like a recommendation, like a letter of recommendation. And that could be the excuse that they use to reach out to you, of like offering you a letter of recommendation of some kind. But I do feel like there's going to be further communication here, which offers us the opportunity to gain clarity about our emotional feelings. But I don't know that they're going to have the strength to actually express themselves in that moment. Because the truth is they're going to be reaching out to you, or there's going to be contact here to try to gain clarity, but they're going to use some type of excuse to gain that clarity, when the truth is what they really want is to feel at peace and to feel like there's something mutual going on here. But it's like, I don't know that they're going to have this, there's the Eight of Swords. I don't know if they're going to have the strength to express what's really in their heart at that point of contact. Now, you may be the one reaching out to them for a recommendation, for instance, especially, again, if this is in the work environment. If it's not in the work environment, this may not resonate with you. You can try a different pile or a different reading, because I am reading for the collective. But if it does resonate with you, you're going to know that this is your message, especially once that communication opens back up. So you may seek them out for a recommendation, and either way, I feel like they're going to be too afraid to really express themselves towards you at that moment. It's like they're sitting upon this truth. And I feel like some of this truth didn't even reveal itself to this person until you walked away. Until you took the initiative to upgrade your life, to empower yourself. Now they feel like something is missing without you around, truthfully. We have the love endures despite the disconnect. Love does not give up or lose faith. It says love is hopeful and withstands every situation. And the feelings that they have and the appreciation and the attraction, it has endured as well. So it's here, practice compassion, see things through a fresh perspective, especially if you do have contact with them in the future and you notice that they are not maybe able to step up and lead and you feel the necessity to. That could be you being called, for instance. It says here, you are limitless. You can do anything that you choose. And the truth is that I feel like they have that opinion of you. I feel like they have a really high opinion of you. Again, they're not denying how deserving you are for an upgrade if that's what caused you to lose and to kind of gain upgrades in your life and disconnect from this person. You may have had to move forward just to upgrade, whether it be in the emotional realm or whether it be in the physical realm. It was necessary for you. But it doesn't sort of shake the truth of what that reality has done to this person. Let's get a couple of message cards to see what sort of thoughts they have been having in the disconnect. How do they truly feel, please, about pile number 1 in no contact? On the floor, I am using the Hermit Tarot for you today, and we have You Are So Very Beautiful. It did one come in reverse, but I don't read this in the reverse usually. This is the World card. You're so very special. Unfinished cycles here. Now we have, I think we should slow down. 7 of Pentacles, let me have you. 7 of Swords. And they secretly wanted you for perhaps a long time before the disconnect. And yet they were taking their time to express that at that time. I can't even look at you right now. Perhaps in conflict, because I do sense a frustration with the loss of you, which they could be sort of internalizing. And it's like they're trying to convince themselves that they don't feel what they're feeling. But we have a dream about you too much. A dream about you a lot, probably too much. I think we should see other people. There could be other people involved in this situation. And they are in deep conflict. This is the 5 of Swords. It's like their ego is trying to get them to feel confident. Their ego is trying to keep them with this mask on, but Spirit sees right through. I'm open to compromise, and I am manifesting you. And I feel like this compromise, there's an energy of manifestation. There's an energy of communication that's coming in. Again, there could be when you reach out or when they reach out to you for some type of recommendation, they may offer a compromise. They may offer you a solution where you can come back to the work realm if that's where you know this person from, for instance. But they're also holding space for you. They don't know what to do with it at this moment, other than to wait. They don't know what you want. The back of the deck says, I'm obsessed. Jealousy poking through as well. Over emotional responses to the loss of you. And not feeling like there's much that they can do. Feeling like perhaps you took your fate into your own hands. So let's ask Spirit here. Are they going to reach out for sure, Spirit? I do feel like there's going to be communication between the two of you. You have the Hierophant again. You have the 10 of Swords. Notice the themes coming for you, pile 1. But we do have the Ace of Pentacles. I do feel like there will be, I don't feel like it's going to come in at least for the next couple of months. But ultimately they do see within the next 3 months potentially a communication that does come in. Again, it does offer the opportunity for communication and for clarity, but insecurity could stop us. It also, for someone watching, offers this opportunity for like a physical connection that could present itself at that moment in time as well. But your guides will walk with you no matter what path you choose to take here. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 1. The very last thought they had about pile number 1 in no contact. Pile number 1, your tiny tarot. They were very intentional about not telling you how they felt in the past of this situation because of, honestly, it almost feels like this could be like a boss energy or something. It's like legal issues could be a problem. Being afraid of what the consequences would be. And honestly, they may use whatever practical excuse that they want to, but it's just a bit of a weakness in them. They do feel like you are a huge distraction for them as well in the practical realm. So part of them is like intentionally perhaps holding on to this Five of Swords of like, well, I'm right, they're wrong mentality, telling themselves, well, this was a distraction for me. But the truth is that they didn't act intentionally because they were afraid. We've got some big charms in here today. We have the chakra clearing. We have a wrench in our plans, and it's I next to the rib cage. The rib cage is like the Eight of Swords. So they were the wrench in their own plans. They're the ones that stopped their own empowerment in this connection. We have the letters B and I as well. And we have always in my heart. And we do have the curled shell, which makes me think of the high priestess. So somebody who's holding back their truth. But I feel like you made such a strong impression. It's going to take a long time for this energy to be forgotten. Pile number 1, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. Please drop your comment below for your chance to win a reading with me. Be sure to hit your notification bell. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personalized reading, and that link is below as well. And I do update that shop daily. But I hope you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 2, you were drawn to the Emperor, and this is your reading. This person in no contact with you, how do they truly feel? Is it mutual, the feelings that they're having? Now, this is a rendition of Vincent van Gogh as the Emperor, so lots of Aries energy coming through. And he's notorious for being the tortured artist, so this could be a very creative person. This could be somebody who, although there has been a passive approach that they've taken, a lot is brewing under the surface of their emotions, because sometimes the Emperor is very stoic and strong, but on the traditional Rider-Waite, he always has these rosy cheeks, which makes me think of somebody who blushes or somebody who's really emotional under it all. They may be defending something, but they're very emotional when it comes to this connection, and maybe a little tortured by it as well with the Vincent van Gogh analogy. So let's take a look here and see. Pile number 2, please. In no contact, how do they truly feel? Are these feelings mutual? We'll also ask Spirit if there will be any communication in the near future. We have the Four of Pentacles. We have the Star. Two of Swords and the Four of Cups coming out with that Star. So we're just going to keep those all together in one pile. Justice. It almost feels like this person is very moody, to be honest with you. Maybe that's why we were drawn to Vincent van Gogh, because they're in a mood already when it comes to this question, this connection. They almost feel like they got what they deserved, and it doesn't feel very abundant. We have here the King of Pentacles. And we have the High Priestess. Back of the deck, we have the Death energy, and we have the Fool. And I do feel, you can see the moth, the flame, the big skull in the center of the moth is like a symbol of reality. So they've gone through a period of grief associated with this situation, and they feel like a fool, or they feel foolish for the decisions that they've made. And that's why they feel justified in the karma that they've reached. It's like, I deserve this because I didn't listen to my intuition, because I hesitated, because I didn't feel worthy enough here, because I was indecisive. And they're also feeling that they made you feel unworthy because of their actions. It's like they feel like you felt overlooked, or you felt like you were chosen second. You were not second best. Here's the Queen of Cups. Because they're concerned about your perspective and how you feel about the situation. They're also really concerned because they are making the assumption that you don't feel the same way. they're highlighting that the two of you have been physically apart. Like there's a space between. So you could be living in different cities or different countries or something as well. You feel so far away from them. And they're afraid to reach out to you. They're afraid that you don't want to hear it and that you're kind of over this whole situation. And part of the question that we're posing to Spirit today is it mutual? So only you will know your own heart and how you truly feel. I think that there could be love in your heart for this person, or the feelings of love that are growing. I feel like you have a permanent place for them here in your heart, but they don't see that right now. They're just operating off of the clarity that they have, which is based on the necessity for them to have shadow work to see it clearly. Because I feel like they're almost afraid that that's the case, that you don't care anymore. Nine of Swords. But they are such a worrier, and they, honestly, it feels a little obsessive. I feel like there's a reason you were drawn to this specific card. Maybe they are an Aries. Maybe they kind of look like that. Maybe they have ginger hair, but there's like an obsessive quality to the thoughts here. It's like they tortured themselves with it. And they feel so stupid. Like they feel so like they limited themselves. And now they can't help but be jealous over your position. So they may assume that you're in a relationship. They could assume you're married. They could assume you have a family at this time. But I feel like even though they've grown and matured, I feel like emotionally they're right where you left them. So this could be this could be a few years of no contact, maybe even maybe more than just a few years, depending on your situation. But this has been a while for this person. They also feel like they rushed into a relationship, perhaps after the two of you disconnected, because they are almost proving something to themselves. They may have rushed into a commitment cycle. They may have rushed into a relationship that lasted, but it's because they didn't have any experience and they didn't know what was waiting for them there. And they were almost trying to prove to themselves that they were moving on from this and that they were worthy. And that's something too that they have to sit with, that truth, and they have to sit with that reality of like, I may have rushed into something that I shouldn't have rushed into, because ultimately I was trying to protect myself or protect my ego from having to go through the healing phase of losing the opportunity with you. Because that could have been exactly where their heart lied. And now this is still a reality. There's the Tower. They don't feel like they can go back. This could affect their ability to reach out to you in the near future, for instance. And especially if this is more of a long-standing no contact, you perhaps didn't come to this reading with the expectation that there would be further contact in the near future. I feel like the reality that things could be a commitment cycle for one or both of you at this time as well. So that's also one of adding to the dynamics of not being able to go back. Because it's like they act really confident, but inside they are toiling. Inside they are struggling with the reality of what maintaining their balance at the time created for them now. It's like they made it easier on themselves then and harder on themselves now. We have older man now. And beware of great pride in the older man. Here at the King of Pentacles. Again, lots of fire energy, but also a lot of Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo coming through for someone watching as well. A lot of Aquarius. We have temptation now tests you. And the Apple, we have here younger man. So they may have grown and evolved from the youth into the king. In the past, they do say that they had a lot of fear about what other people thought of them and what you thought of them as well. They let that influence their decisions. But they've had a very harsh education here. And it's almost like they're referencing a poison apple. A poison apple of not being able to return again. But now the temptation still tests them because the overthinking is still here. The rumination is still here. It makes them want to reach out, create change, communicate with you. And they also want to highlight that even though there hasn't been communication, it's not because they didn't want communication. We have the dragonfly. They sometimes wonder if this is an illusion or their feelings are an illusion or like you never felt the same way. It's like they torture themselves a little bit here. The tortured artist. And I feel like this person has a really good imagination. Like I just heard vivid imagination. So I feel like they have a really good imagination. So they're able to torture themselves with all of the possibilities, including the most negative possibilities of what you're experiencing now, when they don't actually have a clue of what you're experiencing internally. But we have here unicorn and we have the fox. And a reference as well to trying to be shrewd or trying to be dignified, trying to be logical with the approach that they're taking now. And you are this unique unicorn. There's something very singular about you, but they feel like it's something they perhaps need to release. They feel like it's logical for them to release here, and they feel like that's work that they have to do, but there's the Beaver in reverse. I don't feel like they've done the work. I don't think that they've done their work, and they could, again, there's part of them that's guarding the protection of this connection as well, or guarding in protection this connection. Let's get a couple of message cards to see what sort of thoughts this person is having about pile number 2, please. And then we're going to take a look and see what the future holds here with the current momentum. What are some of the thoughts and feelings they're having about no contact for pile number 2? I've kept so much of myself hidden from you because I felt unworthy. You deserved someone better than me. It's coming out again. It wants to, it's like I said what I said. You are the, sorry about that. You are the one that cut me out. Queen of Swords. So they do feel a little intimidated to reach out to you. Maybe they feel like you blocked them or that you were the one that walked away in the first place. It says here, I'm afraid to look bad. And I didn't see what was sitting right in front of me. It's like they're afraid to apologize too. It says, I'm not ready to share you. They get jealous. I just saw the 10 of Pentacles. It says here, I'm not waiting a second longer, but they feel the pressure of perhaps a relationship cycle or a commitment cycle that plays a role here. I wish that I had made better choices. Because they felt like they couldn't make up their mind, or at least that's the impression that they gave you. But it's like I was weighing out my options. They're still holding space here. They're still considering the choices that they made in life and love. But now it says you could destroy me. And they still have a crush on you. It feels like a very strong crush that they have. I watch you. I just can't help it. Back of the deck says I am being pulled in 2 different directions, however. So they could be watching your social media currently as well, pile 2. How do they truly feel, please, in no contact? Wishing that they could spend quality time together, listen and talk to each other. This is a goal that they wish that they could have in order to make clearance. But this is wishful thinking. They're just showing me the fairy wings. These are like conversations that they wish that they could have with you, even in the 5D. Embrace your emotions. There's the unicorn again. Allow your feelings to surface and be accepted. And I feel like this was the major lesson, or the biggest lesson that they took away from this connection in the past, was embracing how they felt, taking action upon it. Back of the deck says having faith. Trust your faith in the situation. And that's, I feel like in this moment, I can't deny, I feel like they are suffering from a lack of it, because they are almost assuming that you were never on the same page, or that could be what they're telling themselves to give themselves the permission to move forward. But let's ask Spirit here about the future of this connection. Are they going to reach out or make contact in the near future of this connection for pile number 2, please? We have the 10 of Cups, which that can speak of clarity. Can also speak of family energies as well. It's like they consider this parallel life that they could have led with you. And I do feel like, honestly, they have like almost an intention or a plan to create clarity with you. But there's Justice. It feels like a dream. It feels like a dream. They have intentions of popping up for you out of the blue. But Spirit says, I don't think it's going to come in the near future, because they are taking a passive approach towards this fantasy. So they feel like it won't come in the near future, but there's a possibility of this Page of Cups popping up, a new emotional approach or an offer or some type of communication, clarity that comes in after a period of sometimes what we call impatience with the 7 of Pentacles. So it may not come in the near future, But Spirit says that you may hear from this person if they decide to put their plan into action, but they're really relying on their faith and their strength, and that's what they perhaps are lacking in this very moment. Pile number 2, what was the last thought that this person in no contact had about pile 2, please? The Magician. They had a conversation with you. Oh, and here's the 8 of Cups. It's like they wanted to return to a memory of the past. In this thought, they may have had a conversation with you or revisited a conversation that they had with you in the past, because it's like they returned to their senses, or they returned home and they communicated with you from a new perspective. But it does feel like they revisited the past in this thought as well. And a moment, perhaps a moment of opportunity that could have launched this in a completely different direction. So really thinking about like one moment that could have changed everything. One moment, one word that could change everything. We have forever, you versus you, and they are struggling with this. We have Gemini, very mutual connection I feel here as well. We have Y and R. We have the slow handsaw, so perhaps more timing that we really feel comfortable dealing with. Perhaps we have to anticipate even more timing in the future as well. We do have Scorpio energy in the key. And they're talking about dreams as well. You could be having dreams about this person. And they're also talking here about the wrench in the plan of getting this in motion again is themselves. They are the ones that are guarding or protecting against progress in the connection, at least for right now. And it could be because of decisions they have to make between parties. Pile 2, this is what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. Drop your comment below for your chance to win a free reading with me. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading, and I update that shop daily. But I hope you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage. I hope that you have a great day. Hello, pile number 3. You were drawn to the Devil, and this is your reading. This person in no contact, how do they truly feel? Are these feelings mutual? Are they going to contact you in the near future? Now, this is addiction. You can see that there's handcuffs there in the picture as well. Like there's a feeling about punishment, getting caught for my feelings, addictive energy, feeling stuck with the devil, maybe even some physical thoughts of sexuality coming through here as well. So let's take a look. You could be drawn to Capricorn. Perhaps this person is a Capricorn, or you yourself are a Capricorn. But let's take a look and see, how do they truly feel at this moment in time in no contact, please? For pile number 3, we have the Justice coming out first. I just got this reference to that song, Season of the Sticks, where they said, I'm split in half and that'll have to do. Here with her, it's like somebody who's shedding an old skin or an old version of themselves, and they're giving me like a sense of 7 years for someone watching. And that may not resonate with everyone as a specific time frame, but they're just talking about how the cells regenerate, like our skin regenerates every 7 years. And so that could be a time frame that's important to you. We have the Four of Pentacles, that some things change over the course of time, including like our cells can completely regenerate given an amount of time, and yet some things never change, like the thirst of this connection here. And the truth is that this connection used to empower, and now there's a mix between empowerment and fear. So it is an addictive sort of thought that they have about you. The addiction used to make us feel empowered, or used to kind of help us to feel abundant, but now it's kind of mixed with fear as well. Here's the King of Pentacles. Here's the Hanged Man, the Hanged Muse, and I feel like the word muse is very important here. It's the muse of materials. The Ace of Swords. Back of the deck, we have the Three of Pentacles, and we have the Two of Wands. And we're going to clarify here as we go forward. Now, they are giving me the sense of somebody watching, and again, it won't resonate for everyone because I'm reading for the collective, but there could be an attachment to a foundation. So there could be commitment cycles here that this person is now embroiled in. They do have a concern for their home in connection to how addicted they feel about this connection. And I do feel like they could be, you know, living this idea of a parallel life. It's like they may be living one life, but living like a fantasy in their mind when it comes to this connection. Because you're in the crown, you're all lit up here. And it's like they're showing that this third eye is at the top of this mountain peak, and they're talking about staking a claim on this connection in my mind. So they're almost possessive of it. But it's like they're living two paralleled experiences in their emotional world. They could have a lot of abundance in their life with this King of Pentacles energy. A lot of material things that they've developed in their lifetime. But it doesn't feel like enough. You know, it's like we're still fantasizing about what could have been or what should have been here with the Judgment, because it's like they're recognizing that they would have to make adjustments in order to have something brand new and an opportunity here in this connection. And yet when they think about the future, they anticipate that you're just going to be a part of that mindset. It's like you're going to be a part of their life in some capacity. Maybe not in a physical capacity because of the practical dynamics, but in a mental capacity for sure. Because they're saying, I'm split in half, and that's just going to have to do. I'm split in half, and that's the reality. That's the truth for me. We have the Page of Pentacles. And when it comes to communication, they're acknowledging that there are challenges that they still have to overcome here. One of which perhaps is having to turn their back on that grove of trees that they've already invested in. But there's an addictive quality. It's like they can't help but go back to the crutch of this connection. And they're kind of calling it a crutch. Ace of Swords. Because they're convincing themselves that they just need clarity. They need to know. They need clarity. They need the information from you to gain closure or to gain perspective. They feel like they need it. But the truth is that what they need is more, it's like they need another fix of that energy, of that confidence that this connection brings in, that it used to bring in so much confidence. They got used to that. They got accustomed to that. They don't actually want closure or clarity. They want information from you to help fuel this belief of like, I've staked my claim and that claim belongs to me. And I want the reassurance that you also feel that way. And even still in that same breath, they're saying that information would still sting. Because even though if there's a claim, if they feel like they have a claim on your heart, if they feel like you just love them and they love you and that's just the way that it is, despite the obstacles, those obstacles still exist. And so that creates almost a stinging reality of a new perspective. So the perspective perhaps will be given to them the way that they want it, but it still stings. It doesn't alleviate the obstacles for them because that's their job here. And there's endurance here with this attraction. There's endurance here with these feelings. So this, again, could have been a no contact that lasted for a few years, for instance. We have the Four of Cups. They are referencing if they do bring in information, it's going to have to come in silently, is what they just said. Perhaps under the radar, for instance. And in this moment, they don't feel like they can reach out. They don't feel like they should reach out at this time, but they do think about reunions with you. And they're actually highlighting almost like a friendship that could have existed. I do feel like they do compare what they have to what they had in the past, but they're also referencing friendship with you. So perhaps for someone watching, this was a friendship that should have evolved. Here's the Queen of Swords and here's the Queen of Cups. Now these queens could be referencing two different individuals and two different energies, but it could also be referencing the intimidation that they feel towards you, wondering what you're experiencing and wishing that you would reach out to them. Of course, that's always the easier opportunity, or that's always the easier solution, is having someone else step in to do the work for us, of course. So that is something that they perhaps are hoping for or relying on in the future. But they're almost, you know, that gives the power away from them, gives the control away from them, and they can't control what comes out of that heart. here. And what they really don't want to know is that you consider them lower than your standards, because they consider, it's like, again, they've staked their claim on you in some way. They're kind of possessive over it. And they realize that that's perhaps not fair. It's kind of like a dragon that hoards all of the jewels. How do they truly feel, please? They don't feel like they can gain clarity at this moment in time without some type of help, at least not now, but this could shift in the future. So we will take a look at the near future. We have the owl. Again, the snowy owl coming in. That's where they gave me the sense of a silent communication that comes in. But they keep delaying it, and they could be delaying it to the point where it's going to pass its expiry date, where the potential may have passed that point of no return. I just saw the mouse. And I feel like they're afraid to get caught for their feelings here. But there's the sea serpent, and there's the vulture. And the sea serpent for me is all about sort of almost the beginnings of time. Past life connection wrapped up here. Having to suppress how I feel below the surface of that water. And the vulture of things being wasted. But the vulture is a creature that cleans everything up. Nothing goes to waste when the vulture is around. So even though they feel like they're wasting time in this moment, Spirit says nothing is actually going to waste, because this connection doesn't have a beginning, it won't have an end. Or it's been here since the beginning and it won't have an end necessarily. That's what they want the whole collective to understand about the collaborations that we have here, is that we're still on independent journeys, but we're collaborating to help walk each other home. But we will get home, and we'll get to deconstruct our experience here in life, and we'll get to see where we sort of step up and led, and see where we failed, and then get to perhaps try it again in a different capacity. But I also feel like with this vulture, they could be circling around, like they keep going back around to the scene of the crime, or they keep watching you to keep fueling this addiction. How do they truly feel, please, for pile number 3? We have here something important like a job or a raise. And we have here danger, especially in money matters. And that's why they maintain their boundaries at this moment. And they may be maintaining boundaries for the divine feminine as well, because they're trying to protect an investment. We're trying to protect practical things. We have here happiness and well-being, and we have the flower. So that you can see that the flowers, the bird is not in flight. They do wonder if you're happy. They do wonder if you're happy. Without them. We have firecracker of excitement. And this could be speaking to some of the physical fantasies that they've had here as well. We have here July. Could be Cancer energy coming through. And we have successful outcome to our problem and taking a vacation. Now, whenever I see the vacation, first of all, they're highlighting Pisces energy, but I do think about fantasy and kind of taking a break from the mind. This person could use the connection, the attraction for you as an escapism. But they may even have intentions. Again, they do have intentions perhaps towards clarity. So we're going to see if those intentions will become true to life with the actions that they take. But first, let's take a look here at their current thoughts and feelings, please, towards pile number 3 in no contact. What are their most current thoughts and feelings? I've lost myself for a little while, but the reality is that I love you. My life is not as together as it seems. I hide behind material things. I am trying to become a better person by burying themselves in work to forget about this connection. So they may look at integrity as being shown when we put a lot of hard work into something and we show dedication, but true integrity is being honest. I feel you even though that we're apart. It says we will be together again. Let's get 3 more, please, Spirit. I wonder if you're happy without me. It was my fault, but I blame you. They're also referencing speaking to you through music, so there could be music that really brings you back to a time and place with this person as well. It says we do need to let each other go. I'm afraid to contact you. And yet they're saying here that they know that you'll be together again. And this could just be wishful thinking. They are afraid to contact you, so let's ask Spirit here about whether or not they are going to contact you. Will they push through their fear, please? Will there be clarity in the future, in the near future of this connection? We have the Death energy coming out with the Six of Swords. And again, there is an anticipation of like, I need closure. We need a conversation to have closure. But I think that just opens up a can of worms. Here's the Knight of Swords. Seven of Pentacles. Here is the Six of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. The truth is that Spirit says that there's been a significant amount of time of no contact. There could continue to be a significant amount of time with no contact, so much so that you start to get curious and you might try to attempt contact, because they're not saying that there won't be any communication, but it's going to be more of a collaborative effort. It may not just be this person that brings it forward. They say the Divine Feminine might be playing a role in that communication in the future, but you still have a period of time before you feel inspired to take that action. Let's get a charm bowl for pile number 3, please. What was the last thought they had about pile 3 in no contact in the bowl? The Seven of Swords. Oh, they were thinking about the past decisions that they made here in this connection, or about this connection, and the lack of clarity. It's like they were thinking about what they should have said, thinking about what they would have heard in response to what they would have said to you. They really feel like they left their high standards in the past. And they're almost lamenting like choices that they've made in relationships beyond that point. W, D, A, and L in the bowl. We have the Sun, and it's coming out sort of sideways, lack of clarity. We have a wrench in our plans, but there's still bones to pick, and it's a great big wrench here too. But they're also highlighting the Divine Feminine again. It says she believed she could, so she did. And perhaps reference to taking action, but not before we take a look at things from a different perspective or from above. So there could still be further communication in the future of this no contact situation, pile 1, but it could be the Divine Feminine that brings it forth. That is what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. Please drop your comment below for your chance to win a free reading with me. Be sure to hit your notification bell so that I can notify you if you are chosen. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading, and I update that shop daily. But I hope that you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage. I hope that you have a beautiful day.